Some stories are just full of humor by themselves. They do not need you to add anything to them. So here you go. Hello everyone. Hope you're doing well. It's your girl Jennifer, and I'm back with another exciting conversation. This is against all odds. My question to you today is, have you been in a medical dilemma? Yes. I want to talk about medical dilemmas and going right in with my own medical dilemma. This one. I'm not a very bad storyteller, but some stories are just full of humor by themselves. They do not need you to add anything to them. So here you go. I want to give you a bit of my life and my journey, but I'm giving you this because to understand this is not my problem alone. I know many people are in similar situations. And because I'm all about mental health, I want to create awareness about this issue so that probably somebody else does not suffer the same issue or go through the same struggles and dilemma. And also for the other thing why I'm talking about this is because remember, in our African context and as African people most of the time, I'm sorry if you're not African, don't feel like this information is not for you. Because you have to relate from a certain point and angle. So I'm relating it from my Africanness. So, and I want it to be an eye-opener that this could happen to anybody because people travel all over the world. It could happen to anybody. But in our African context, because it's a medical dilemma, in our African context, many people could relate. And I was even talking to my friend sometime, and this is what we were saying. It's now that we've come to the West that we have the boldness and the information and the support, or is it empowerment? Those are still not the right words. I will get the right word. Like, you have that place of information where you realize your health, you are a key player in this, in the decisions doctors make, in the decisions care workers and health professionals make about your life. In Africa, it's the opposite. In Africa, doctors are demigods. They are next to God, in short. Doctors will give decisions and medical opinions, results and everything, and it's like their word is final. You're not there to negotiate or discuss. You are there. They have told you you're suffering from this disease. We have done this test. You don't even question, because in Africa it's very rude to question a doctor, a whole professional. What do you know? You know. And this does not happen to people who are not educated. It goes across the board. Across the board. You know. And those that are able to do it, because nowadays social media has opened us up a little bit. At least nowadays some people are bold enough to question. But even some who question, you question to a certain degree. It's not uncommon to find somebody is sick, has gone to the hospital, and you ask them, what did the doctor say? The doctor just told me to take this medication. So what are you suffering from? I don't know. Or whatever medication they are taking and their diagnosis, they don't agree. And then you're like, so why are you taking this medication if you're struggling with this? And they do not know. And we will faithfully take medication. Faithfully. And that's why some of the times the medication is harming us. Some of the times the diagnosis is wrong. By the time you come to discover, you have a lot of damage has been done. So now, maybe some of you are saying, Jennifer, get to the point. Yes, get to the story. I have to give you the background because in Africa, that is one of the things that makes us to end up in such situations. We just want to dive into the thing. You don't want the background and the history and what happens to us. Okay, so let me go to this. In 2013, I was in university in Uganda. And when I was in this university, I don't want to go back to other histories. Let me just start it from there. Then maybe if there are things that will need me to go back and forth, I will pick them up as they come to my mind. But I was in university, I remember. Then from nowhere, the semester had just started. So from nowhere, in the middle of the night, I start having these terrible chest pains. And the chest pains intensify. They were bad, so bad. So they intensify, definitely. Now I have to go to the hospital. I wouldn't call it hospital. In Africa, everything is a hospital, whether it's a dispensary, to the health facility, but within the university. So I'm taken to the health facility of the university. I am not improving. They're giving me medication. Remember, the medication I don't know. Because for me, I'm struggling. The doctor comes and gives you, as they are doing tests. So you're taking medication, but the pain is not changing. So it gets so worse. I have to be moved from now to be referred from the health facility of the university to a local hospital in the area. I go there. I think I was admitted for about 3 days. Yes. And for me, the pain, I get pain relief things. And after 3 days, the pain settles. And I go home. I go back to school. So, and I remember the doctor when I was in that health facility, like the local one, asking me, are you so stressed? And I'm thinking like, I'm one person whose stress doesn't get into me. So, because I think he was querying ulcers, and I was like, no, ulcers wouldn't be the one thing I'd struggle with. But anyway, somehow, I think in the medication, ulcers medication was part of it, and somehow it kind of worked. I don't know. All I know, pain stopped, and I went back to school, and I was okay. That was when that was happening, I think it was nearly the end of the semester. So I go home for a short holiday, come back for the next semester. When I come back for the next semester, I think it's the same week or the following week. I think it is the same week I reported, but I didn't report quite at the beginning. You know, like the way in Africa, when school reopens, there are those weeks and days, there's nothing much happening, there's registration, so official studies have not started. So you don't, for us who had to travel from Kenya, I would not go to be in school to do nothing, so you just wait. So I came I think after the second or third week, around there, and still studies hadn't really officially started. So I remember it was at night, and that pain that I had the previous semester comes back. Whoa. With the same intensity, it was a bad chest pain, really, really bad. What was different this time with this pain is that the pain was so bad, I couldn't stand, I couldn't sit, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't do anything. So I remember moving from my room to get help. Good enough, the accommodation I had been given by the university, a lot of the students were nurses who were studying nursing. So it was easy to get help. So they come, they come out because like I'm shouting, I'm screaming in pain. So definitely drawing the attention of other people to come and see what is happening and also try and help. And as they are trying to help me and find out what is happening, because me, I'm only just screaming in pain. I'm in pain and holding my chest and saying it's my chest. So they take me to, in that process of that happening, I pass out. When I come round, I'm in pain again. Go in that thing of pain, then I pass out. By this time, they have organized, called the university's ambulance. I'm taken to the university's health facility, and I think I'm in bad shape. And that was the thing. I would come into consciousness, go out of consciousness. And that was the disturbing part, because I was not getting chance even to tell the doctor what is wrong, because I'd just come shouting, pain, my chest, my chest, my chest, then pass out. So the health facility of the university fast tracked it for me now to be transferred to a bigger and main hospital, which happened, and I was taken there. Now, this part, let me first tell you this part, because I find this part very interesting. In Africa, okay, and some of the the ambulances we have, like this university ambulance, honestly, it didn't have anything to save a life, I would say, because I wasn't given oxygen or anything. Remember, I'm passing out, I'm struggling to breathe and stuff like that. This only worked as a first means to go to hospital. The driver is not a medic. This is what happens in Africa. But I thank God, because at least it saved my life. He saved my life because he knew it has to be thinking you blue light and get yourself very quickly. So yeah, got me to hospital. In the hospital, same thing, in and out of consciousness, until they did, like, they put some medication until I was able to be stable, at least to be awake and be able to see what is happening. By this time, I've been accompanied by some friends. In Uganda, you get accompanied to hospital. Like, when you're going to hospital, you need a carer to take care of you. Doctors and nurses are there to give you medication, but you need somebody to take care of you, because I don't know whether it has changed, but in those days, my time, you don't get, hospitals don't offer you food. Food you buy. There are vendors. They buy you food, bring you. So if you don't have anybody to take care of you, you will be getting medication. You could die in hospital, literally. But anyway, the community is very supportive. So yeah. So I had my friends who accompanied me, and for them, they could only narrate what has been happening. They didn't know exactly what I was struggling with. So for me, when they asked me, I just say it's chest pain, and I don't know, So they started doing tests, different tests. So the conclusion was, and this conclusion was made by one doctor, and I have no bias. I am just stating what happened to me. So this doctor was British. He was a white man. In Africa, we respect people who are who are international. So for him to come up with this diagnosis, then it was a true diagnosis, because we expect them to be more informed and more learned than our own. Sometimes it may not always be the case. So, but that he was the doctor who diagnosed my issue. So he diagnosed that I have a malfunctioning gallbladder and I have gallstones. And so what needs to happen? I need to have surgery. That is now after a week of being in hospital. Remember, all this time I'm in pain. They're just managing pain as I run different tests to see what is the issue. So they narrow it down to the issue with my gallbladder. And yes, so what happens? I have to go for surgery, and yeah, to get this gallbladder out, because if it stays, later it could become cancerous. Hey, when you hear cancer in Africa, whoa, no, get it out. So in this story, there are there's another bigger story in this story. But let's leave that out because it's not what I wanted to talk about today. So the diagnosis has been made. We need to get this gallbladder out. So I get prepared. The following week on a Monday, I go for surgery. And they didn't have the facility to do a laparoscopic surgery, so they could only do an open surgery. So they do the surgery. So from my, just below my chest cavity, I have a big cut and surgery scar till the place for my cord. It was really massive. Because I remember even after, people would see it and say, whoa, but why did they make such a big cut, you know? Yeah, so I have such a big scar from that surgery. So in this story, what have I told you? I have gone in for surgery. My gallbladder has been taken out. Then I remember I was supposed to go, when they take out the gallbladder, they were supposed to take it somewhere for biopsy, and I was supposed to go for results. For me, I am one person sometimes who believes I'd rather not know something because it won't disturb me than knowing. So for me, I didn't go for my biopsy results intentionally. So I didn't ever get to know how my gallbladder was. So I leave it. So now, after that, definitely, I got complications thereafter, but that is not the story for today. I just wanted you to know the gallbladder was taken out. And from there, you start adapting to life as a person without a gallbladder, because you know the work of the gallbladder is to produce bile that works on food, breaks down. It's an important organ in the body, but it's an organ that you can do without, because the body naturally finds a way of dealing with the bile, you see, when it's produced. And yeah, so after that, definitely, you know, when you're filling forms in different things, sometimes they ask you your medical history. Have you had surgeries before? And I would always put it there. When your gallbladder is removed, it's called, let me hope I can pronounce it right, but it's called cholecystectomy. Yeah, so the removal of the gallbladder. So I would write and feel it, because now I know. I know it's been taken off, and I was in surgery, and I have a scar to show and everything. So, and that was my life since 2013. Fast forward to 2022. Remember coming to the UK, everywhere in my forms and documents, medical history shows that I've had previous surgeries. I had a surgery before that one. So all the medical history of the surgeries I've had, why I've had those surgeries, it's written down clearly. And that is one of them. And sometimes it would ask specifically, the places where I'd feel specifically what kind of a surgery it was. So for me, it was open, not laparoscopic. And I remember when I was going to have my children, they would, the doctors or nurses would see the scan and ask you, why do you have this scan? And say, so because they have to put it in the notes and confirm. And it has always been like that. It has never had an issue. Fast forward to 2022. In 2022, towards, I think it was October, November there, I start having chest pains again. Very severe chest pains. Similar to the ones I had in Uganda. So bad. So, and being in the West and in the UK, I'm in and out of hospital. And by the time I'm going to hospital, I am in bad shape. Bad shape. Do you know how you remember something and your body just shivers? It's been a dark place for me. So let me take a breather for that, because it's just a trigger in a way, you know? Yeah, so now I'm having these chest pains. I didn't know. Remember, we never used to question medical things and stuff. But now when you've come to the UK, you're part of your medical journey. So in case of anything, you have to be explained to, you have to ask questions and everything. So I'm going to hospital. And so the first thing with chest pains, severe chest pains, they are always an alarm for a heart attack, which I didn't know. Because they did, anytime I'd call the ambulance, sometimes I'd respond so quickly because of that specific reason. I have an underlying health condition of being asthmatic and some few other things that you live with, so they are not a problem for you. So because the condition was really bad, so they do a heart to check if my heart is working fine. They find the heart is fine. They do x-rays. It's not something to do with my lungs. So they did several tests. Some tests would come up with abnormalities, others would come out fine. But you know, here how they're doing the test, they are looking for something specific to give a specific diagnosis. So this time when my chest was hurting and everything, when it would I'd be given painkillers and to relieve it, I'd go home. But when I asked for a diagnosis, they would still tell me it's inconclusive because they couldn't really point it out to a specific thing. And so after, I would keep on going for tests and tests until we rule out what it is. And you're open for that because you want them to come up with a proper solution. So they did a CT scan which showed a certain abnormality that they also needed to do another test to really confirm and go down the road. Let's fast forward to they decide to send me to do an ultrasound scan. So I go for this ultrasound scan. And when I go for the ultrasound scan, because it's supposed to inform other tests that they've been doing. So I go and I find this is it radiographer or sonographer, anyway, one of them that was doing the scan. So this person doing the scan was a student, medical student. So they do it first, then after they finish, now the consultant goes to reconfirm everything. When they were starting the scan, they asked me, what is this scar for? And I told them they removed my gallbladder. They're like, okay. So they continue doing the scan and scan. So it's this consultant, shows a lady who does the scan, and after now finishing the scan, so she tells me to sit up so that she can tell me what she's seeing. So she told me, remind me again what you said the scar is for. I told her it was for removing the gallbladder. So she said, and when was this? I told her in 2013 in Uganda, in Africa. So she tells me, from the scan I've just done, I can see you have a gallbladder. You'd want to laugh, right? It wasn't funny because I was in pain, because my pain is still not very much under control. But you almost want to laugh in her face, like you're joking, right? Because I have this big scar. This is not a surgery that was done yesterday. It was done in 2013. How do you tell me you can see a gallbladder? So for me, the next thing I asked her, and I'm not asking out of ignorance. It's you know how you the shock. So I'm asking her, the gallbladder doesn't regrow, does it? Then she says, no, it doesn't regrow. Then I tell her, okay. So yeah, I told her that's interesting because up until today, I've always known I didn't have a gallbladder. So now that you're telling me you can see a gallbladder, like clearly you can see it. She's just from doing the scan. You get. You have a gallbladder, and in the gallbladder you have gallstones. And this could be the problem why you're having the pains you've been having. And I'm like, you know how you're thinking, I have a big scar in my body. I went through a life-threatening surgery. And I call it life-threatening because it almost killed me. honestly, this is a story for another day. And even after surgery and the events that happened, I'm a walking miracle. Then now somebody comes and tells you that thing that almost killed you, you still have it. You know how you feel? You feel a relief in one way, but in another place you feel like a fool, because I have been putting it in the documentation. I've had children in this same country, and this has never come up. Why is it coming up now? You know. So, I'm in this place where now, yeah, this gallbladder has an issue, and it's the gallbladder that needs to go out. Okay. So you go, come home, talk to my parents, talk to people, and for me, I'm thinking like, oh, daddy, mommy, I have, can you trace my medical documents in that I left at home and see what is this? See if you can go, because they did scans, and there were pictures like if they can still find them, take them somewhere and see, because this is a dilemma right there. You know, even like telling my parents, telling my family, they are shocked, because knowing what they went through with me at that point, then you come and say this thing is still there. So then the question is, so that surgery, what did they take out? What happened? Our Africa, yeah? So anyway, let me just quickly fast forward this story. So now, I'm booked in to go for surgery. As we speak, today is like a week and 2 days since I had the surgery. So let me take you. I'll put for you some pictures here, and you're going to see me in the hospital, and yeah. So I want to take you to the conversation of me and the doctors just before I go in for surgery. And then the doctors come and they say, oh, Jennifer, do you know why you're here? And I'll tell them, yes, I am here to take out my gallbladder again. And they would ask me, why the again part? And I'll be like, because in my opinion, this same gallbladder was taken out in 2013 in Uganda, and I have a very big scar for it. So for me, it is a surgery taking out the same thing again. And I'd say it humorously, because clearly it's just funny. And and anybody who wanted to say, yeah, we are taking out your gallbladder, I wanted them to add the word again. I was very insistent on that part of again, because if it has happened before, what happened? So I remember talking to the doctors and asking them, is it possible to find out what organ I'm missing in there, because I don't know why I still have a gallbladder, you see. Now, where does the medical dilemma come in here? The medical dilemma comes in here in this aspect. You have gone in for surgery. The doctors say they took out something, and whatever you went through. And to be very honest, my body behaved after the surgery. How your body behaves when you do not have a gallbladder before it adjusts. That's how my body behaved. Really, honestly. So what happened here, I can't really tell. Because for me, I only have 3 thoughts towards it. I could be wrong, but one of them must be true. I believe I'm a spiritual person. So I believe they could have taken the gallbladder out, and God in his own mysterious way gave me a new gallbladder. That's a possibility. The other possibility is that they did not take out the gallbladder. That is also a possibility. And what they took out or what they did, I don't know. Maybe I was a medical specimen. I don't know. Or the third option could be they took out part of the gallbladder, because now I came to understand medically that could happen. So of the three, honestly, I can't tell you which is which. The only way I could have said it was a miracle that God gave me a new gallbladder is if we went into, if I could find those medical documents and then it could show that my gallbladder from the x-rays they had done and the scans I had, if somebody could interpret and say yes, it was a problem, and then yes, that could prove, then now could show that, oh, maybe it was a miracle. But now without that, I can't really say what that is. Then I'd just be left with the option of knowing that yes, maybe it was a medical scam. So why am I bringing this subject here? My friend, when I mentioned this to one of my friends was like, hey, Jennifer, you're lucky. At least you went for them to take out the gallbladder. They didn't take it out. Hey, my friend went in for a different surgery. They took out her womb. Yes. Unfortunately, these things happen. Now, even though I needed to do something, would I have done anything different? No. Because you go in for surgery, you don't know yourself, you wake up, you don't have tools and equipment to check what is left or what is, so there's nothing I could have really done about it. Whether they scammed me or not, there's nothing I could have done because I went in with a genuine medical condition. You get. And here in the UK, up until I had issues with my chest, they have never brought it out to me that I had a gallbladder. But this consultant who gave me this report told me in 2020, they did a scan on me and that scan showed I had a gallbladder, but they didn't tell me that. You get? Because in 2020 is when I had my second child. So definitely they saw that because from her you could read from that. They never told me, yet I always said I never had it. So you see my medical dilemma here is, even here in the UK, when they are trying to say, oh, and fault these other doctors, but I can also fault them because if you discover that in 2020, you could have just told me, you normally, your records show you don't have a gallbladder, but somehow we can see you have a gallbladder. You get? So, that's my medical dilemma. You could find my story funny. But if you've gone through surgery in Africa, you could be thinking that, oh, Jennifer, you are scammed. Only for you to go again and do a different test and find you are scammed as I was. Oh my goodness. Sometimes it's good to laugh about these things, yeah? I'm careful not to laugh so hard. Told I just left, I had surgery last week to remove that gallbladder again. So, but I believe for now, my gallbladder is out. I hope 10 years later, I don't have it removed the third time. People, things happen and they happen to people like you and me. Please do not be ignorant about your medical condition. Please work with the doctors. I know in Africa we don't question, but from this video, please start questioning some of these things. And not just question in a bad way. Question from the point of wanting to understand. It is your body. It is your, it is your body. If they want to remove a tumor in your head, it is your head they're going to be removing. So why are they coming to decide about that head of yours and you're not involved in that decision? Also go another step forward. Nowadays we have social media, we have the internet. Please consult the internet. Sometimes it's a bad thing because there's all good validated information and some that has not, people just coming to give their own opinions. You will get both, but at least have the information. And be intentional to sieve out the noise. Because if you have some little information, at least you can go to the doctors and use it to query some things. And then the doctors can clarify and give you the right information. But when you don't have anything, the doctor will just go ahead and serve you whatever they think suits you. So, I believe I've made you have a little laugh. I believe I have educated you. I believe I've opened your eyes in a few things. Because as I always say, to change the world, you need to change your mind. Catch you in the next, probably humorous video. Bye.